Good morning. Good morning. It is Wednesday, November 24th, which happens to be the day before Thanksgiving. And I can't wait. I mean, maybe I can. I'm doing all the cooking too. So I do need a little bit more time. There's never enough hours in the day to do all what you got to do. But everybody else, that food's coming up. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I am Dr. Tony Rail Sutherland, and with me is Dr. Amy Tam, who's going to be our co-host today and a guest. Hi, Amy. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me again.
Great. Now, as you can see, Todd Duplantis is on vacation. He's on a boat somewhere having fun, but he will be back Monday, and we'll all be back Monday because, of course, we won't be here Thanksgiving Day tomorrow and Friday, but we will come back Monday, and everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. So, meanwhile, Dr. Tam, do you want to tell everybody about how they can find us on social media?
Yes, you can always find us on your favorite social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You're going to look for us at HCC District, and that's Up to the Minute.
Okay, and then we're also live, of course, as you know, because you're watching us now, but then we have a retape, we tape this, we play it back at noon and at 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on HCCTV. So you can get us by cable, social media, and follow us. Look for Houston Community College District on your Facebook, and you will find us. Now, as I said before, we have Dr. Amy Tan with us. She's going to be both my co-host, wonderful, and then she's also a guest for later on. We're going to talk to her a little bit about all those wonderful programs that she's over. But first, we have another wonderful guest. She is Sarah Mercier. She is with the Small Business, she is today, of course, is our Small Business Wednesday. I'm just putting everything all together. And we're going to spotlight the HCC Business Plan Competition winners. She was one of the winners, and I think she won like $8,000 in 2020. Welcome to the show, Amy.
Sarah? Yes. Sarah. Hey, Tony.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Amy's here too. Thank you so much. It's good to be here. Look, your mind is on turkey right now, right?
It is. It's on turkey. And I'm getting all the other names all mixed up. But anyways, okay. You are you're the CEO of Learning Ninjas. Tell me a little bit about what that is. I know you won, so you got some good stuff going, but tell us what that is.
Yeah, sure. It's great to do this interview today because now I think people know what I do for a living much better than they used to. So what we do, we're online learning experts, and we support organizations to train their workforce. So to train internal employees, let's say they have new hires or, people in their organization, train them on a new policy or procedure. And then we also teach the public. So we work with a lot of nonprofit clients to teach the communities that they serve. And we do all of our support is an online or blended approach where there may be doing some classroom or in-person events. But over the last couple of years, we have spent an incredible amount of time teaching people how to use tools like Zoom and Teams and WebEx, because now the whole world has gotten a bit of a taste, right, of what that looks like to participate in online, whether it's events, training, that kind of thing. And we do all that based on some really heavy strategy work, helping people pick tools. So learning ecosystems, like which tools should you buy? Which one's the best for your organization or the work that you're doing? And then also we have a really strong focus on accessibility and inclusion and making sure that everyone has that access to learn And that's something that we've actually was the foundation of our organization. We originally were a give back organization, and we do a lot of pro bono work as well with some of these nonprofits. So that's a really fun give back part of what we do.
So you've been doing this for a long time, but you entered the HCC Business Plan Competition. Why did you do that, and what did you gain from it?
Yeah, so I'm going to be really transparent. This field, the instructional design industry, we have more work than will ever any of us be able to do. There will always be people to learn, always be people to train, new things to learn about. And so it's very easy when you run a consulting business or you run an organization that's supporting this type of work to always have work. So as an organization, we are very profitable. When I entered the competition, it was really to look at what we're doing. How are we investing those profits? How are we making sure that we're growing this organization in a strategic way and in a thoughtful way? Because it's very easy to get lazy and to say, oh, money's still coming. Great. I still have a job. Great. But as a business owner, it's obviously really important to make sure that you're thinking about, how do I use those funds? How do I use them in a thoughtful way, right? What other things could we be doing? And as I mentioned, because of our organization, we have such strong roots in giving back to the community, and just kind of just this social good piece of what we do, that it was really important to us to be thoughtful about how we were giving back and what we were doing, right? And who we were hiring. Who do we need to hire next? And what does that look like? So I entered the competition to see what other companies were doing. I mean, I have an MBA, right? So I went to school for business. I understand how to do these things, but there's so much value in working with other people that run organizations. Because once you get to a point of being a business owner or running a company, you don't have a lot of peers unless you step outside of your company. There is nobody to talk to in your company, right? Or you may have very few people. So it was a really great opportunity for us to say, like, here's what we're doing. Does that look right? Are there ways that we could be more efficient? You know, here's how we're doing our bookkeeping. Is that kind of what people look for? You know, from an investment perspective, perhaps, or you know, it was just something that I thought was incredibly needed for us, and it was very helpful.
You can always learn from other people. And in fact, I think I said yesterday, the more you know, the more you don't know.
Yes. Oh, that's something. That's so true.
So tell us about the different things inside of the competition that helped you. Like, I think there was prerequisite training and competition and things like that. How did each area help?
There was. So the thing that stands out for me the most, now granted, this was we started the competition at the beginning of 2020, and we all know what happened in March, right? Yes. So midway through the competition is when the pandemic hit for us. So the part of the competition is going to these trainings, and they were supposed to all be in person, and then they pivoted to online. But there were a number of training sessions where it's like, here's how you put together an actual formal business plan. Here's how you put together your financial records, right? Or financial reports, not for taxes, because I mean, we have accountants that do that, but how do you actually show somebody whether your company is profitable? What does your cash flow statement look like? Like, we had all those things from a tax perspective, but being able to see, like, what are some of the decisions that we might make? How does that affect what our company looks like from a financial perspective, right? Not to the IRS and how much taxes you pay, but to funders or investors. You know, what does that look like? So I think the most valuable thing for us was the financial piece, and really being able to describe what we do. Because back when we started this competition, people did not understand what e-learning was. They didn't understand what a Zoom call was. Like, they didn't know what any kind of online stuff. I mean, not nobody, but the majority of the public, it was harder to describe than it is now. So that was really useful.
So how did you pivot during the pandemic? I mean, you were kind of already doing it. So what's different about it now?
Yeah, ours was very unique. So we have been an online 100% remote organization since we started, right, for years. And so for us, it wasn't about pivoting to this distance online piece, right, because that's what we do. For us, it was, at first we had a couple of clients. We had some large clients that had to cancel their contracts. We had one really big client that was in the hospitality industry, and they had to stop all their work because they closed all their hotels, right? So we had things like that happen. We also had a lot of new clients that were scrambling to try to figure out solutions to things that they had going on. We had one client that had an international in-person event every year with multiple people representing different countries, different languages. And they said, we've got to do this online now. We have a huge product launch, right? We have to be able to support this. So we helped them. So for us, the pivot was not so much as a pivot as it was we were already seeing a lot of accelerated growth, and it would just all of a sudden was exponential. So we really had to get in there and say, okay, it was actually serendipitous that we were in the competition, because I had some support when all of this was happening, saying, look, we've got to be able to do all of this stuff. I need to make a lot of hiring decisions at once. Like, there was just a lot that happened. So for us, the thing that has changed is that now people better understand what we do, and we are just terribly busy, which is a great problem to have, but it's also, the growing pains, I think, have been similar to that of a startup, but in the middle after already running as an operation for 10 years, right? So that was a little bit different, I think.
So what do you see as what they call the new normal for all of this?
So one, I think that you're going to see a lot more organizations work in a blended model where they have some working in an office, some working at home. I'm having to make some decisions about what kind of tool sets actually work best for the type of work we do. And that, because there's a lot of folks talking about Zoom fatigue and things like that. A lot of that is because there's a way to do it well, and then there's a way to overdo it and not do it very well. So I think what we'll see is this pendulum kind of swing back towards the middle, but I don't think we're going to go back to where we were. And the thing is that organizations were already moving toward this. We just all got a big, rocket boost into it at one time. So I think, one, we're going to see a lot of people shifting to that model more permanently. And maybe they don't go to 100% remote work because maybe that's not practical for the work they do. But I think you'll see a lot more blended, right? And being able to scale up some of those operations. And the other thing that I think you're going to see is a lot of people are going to be a lot more comfortable with the fact that we aren't just like professional work people all the time. Like, we have lives, we have other things going on, and how to more effectively manage that as individuals. Like, how do we what does our work life look like as it's blended into our day-to-day routines? I think we're going to see a ton of research come out of this. We have a ton of data. These tools like, Zoom and GoToMeeting and all these tools have made such huge improvements over the last year or so because they have so much more data, because now everybody's using them. So I think we're going to see better tools out of it too.
Well, we so much appreciate you being on the show, because you have just brought so much information, and we appreciate your business, period, because it keeps businesses going, you might say.
Thank you.
Sarah Mercier, CEO of Learning Ninjas and HCC Business Plan Competition winner. And we'll have information about that in our post after the show. So thank you so much for being on.
Thanks, Tony.
Now it's time to welcome Amy back. Back because she's been on the show before, back because she was on earlier as a co-host. Now she's a guest, so double duty. Here we go. Welcome, Amy.
Thanks. And wow, how wonderful to hear from Sarah and all the wonderful things that are happening with her business and her, her involvement in our HCC Business Plan Competition. That's just really marvelous.
So, you are over a whole bunch. You're dean over English communications and ASL interpretations. That's a lot of stuff. Tell us about some of that. I know that part of your your speech part, I think, does deal with the business competition. So
it does, yeah.
So tell us a little about the different areas. How about English?
Okay. So of course, English is typically the first class that most students take when they come to college. And we really want them to tackle that class in their first semester. That's part of our pathway, what we call guided pathways. And what we want to do is, if we're going to try to get students through a pathway in 2 years, and they're going full time, which, you know, the majority of our students do not go full time, they're part time. And even if they're going part time, we want them to start with their Comp 1 class, because it's an intro to writing at the college level, and we want them to be able to have those skills so they can take those skills to other classes, not just develop their communication skills. So it's really working on writing and communication skills. Our English program has an incredibly large dual credit population. It's we've had up to 5,000 students. The past couple of years, it's been more around 4,000. But we're going to get those students back. I think we'll be up to 5,000 again in another semester or so. So we serve and work with several of our local ISDs to make sure that their juniors and seniors can start taking college classes before they even graduate from high school. Another program that's really successful and really important in helping our students get through that first semester of comp is our Co-Requisite Program. And that's where we pair, if a student doesn't place into the college level course on their first attempt at the test, they can go ahead and enroll in the college level, and they have a 3-hour support class that they enroll in at the same time. It's like specialized tutoring. Sometimes it's taught by the same instructor, and it is a big commitment, because it's 6 hours, but it can get them out of 6 to 10 hours of developmental coursework. And so this will speed their path through their completion. And it decreases the time that they have to take. And it really is one of our most important programs, and we're very proud of it. And that's a partnership that we have with the INRW department.
Excellent. Now, there's also literature. That to me is the more fun part, just because drama and all that behind me. So tell us a little bit about your literature program and why it's important for students to take.
I'm with you, Tony. I think most of our faculty, their heart is in literature. They love to teach comp, they love to teach writing skills, but it's so fun to dig into a good lit class and to reread our favorite pieces of literature. And we offer the traditional areas like British, American, and World. You're only required to take 1 semester now, which is kind of a big loss, but we still offer both semesters. So students who wanted to do Brit Lit 1 could follow it up with Brit Lit 2. Most of our dual credit students are still going to have to take 2 semesters. But we also do some special topics that people, might be interested in if they don't want to do, the general lit that they may have done in high school. We do African American lit. We do literature by women. We're trying to offer an Asian American lit class. I have a couple of people who offer lit and film, which is fun. That's always fun. And I have a couple of people who have started developing young adult literature and pop culture courses. So they'll do some Harry Potter or Hunger Games and try to reach students who are more interested in pop culture. Those special topics are all going to be listed in the catalog as forms of literature. So you won't see any of those topics. The exception to that is Mexican American Lit. It stands alone. It's $23.51 if you're looking for a good Mexican American Lit. We have some fantastic instructors teaching that. And the other way to find the class that you're looking for is to go we still have the Learning Web, and you can go on the Learning Web and look at the syllabi. So if you see an instructor or a course, you can go and see what they taught last semester, and it's a pretty good bet that's what they'll be teaching this semester.
So let's move on to speech. I used to take I used to actually teach speech. Now it's drama, but tell us a little bit about that. And I know it's connected also to the business plan competition.
Yeah, so our speech department has formed some wonderful collaborations. They've been working with the business the business plan competition. And also, I think a couple of weeks ago, you had Danielle, Dr. Stagg, on to talk about the pitch competition, which is coming up. So a little plug for that on December 4th. It's a partnership also with the University of St. Thomas. And since Todd was unavailable, I'm going to be emceeing. So if you want to come out and enjoy the day at the University of St. Thomas, it's going to be fantastic. And I'm really proud of our speech department and the initiatives and partnerships that they've developed. It's just been wonderful for our students. We also have an annual speech competition, and that is actually connected to the curriculum. So students in the speech classes are working on those speeches, and they get support and help from their professors, and they can win a scholarship. So
excellent.
Yeah.
We got 3 more things to cover.
Okay.
Let's go quick. We got communications as a profession. What about that?
So communications is a highly specialized, it's a smaller program. So you're going to get lots of one-on-one attention. And that's if you want to do what Tony does, if you want to work in the journalism field. And there's some crossover with our TV production and media, which is on the workforce side, audiovisual. But it's a, like I said, specialized journalism program. We have some dedicated courses that are actual lab courses, and it's connected to our student publication, The Egalitarian, which is entirely student produced. And there's a dedicated class for that, and there is a faculty sponsor, but the students are responsible for all of the work that goes into producing that.
Sounds great. And The Egalitarian, what is that?
Yeah, that's The Egalitarian. That's our student publication.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. It's I'm sorry. It was the written part of it. Okay. Now, American Sign Language and Interpretation. You're also over that area.
This is also a highly specialized program, and this one is it's just been a wonderful, I've been dean for 6.5 years now. But before that, I had I did not have any experience with ASL or with its interpretation, transliteration, and basically it's a 2-year degree. And at the end result, we hope that our students will go and get their certification from the state so they can work as interpreters. And this, I want to say that, this is a lots of demand. There's lots of opportunity, high earning potential. The average salary for an interpreter in Houston is $60,000. People on the high end of that scale can make 6 figures. So, but the other side of it is it's such a meaningful and rewarding career, and you're really joining a small, tight-knit community. And it's the kind of work that, you get up every day and you're providing a service. And I think, so it's wonderful. It's fantastic. You can get hired tomorrow if you get your certification. That's how much demand there is.
But this is good news. Good news. And this is great. So you cover a multitude of subjects, and so that's real neat. It shows your versatility. Dr. Amy Tan, you are Dean of English, Communications, and ASL and interpretations, over all that stuff. But now you're going to put on your other hat, which is the hat of co-host, and you're going to help me tell everybody about different announcements and events. Do you want to start? Fall Virtual Student Art Exhibition?
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. So the 6 HCC campus art galleries are all still closed due to the pandemic, but our student artists are using Instagram as their gallery walls for their juried exhibition. So opening Wednesday, December 1st, awards will be announced during finals week, which is December 6th through the 12th. This is through the HCC Virtual Arts Center. You must register for this event. And if you are interested, contact Catherine, that's Katherine, Fields@hccs.edu, and we'll have the email in our post.
Very good. And then we have Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion podcast series that is continuing on. Dr. Donna Davis, our HCC DEI officer, is hosting that. It's going to be 11:30 to noon, Thursday, December 2nd. And the next thing is about giving blood and getting pizza. Now, that kind of sounds interesting.
That sounds like I could do that. So give blood, get pizza. Vast Academy Blood Drive. Join our local Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center to do your part to save lives. And you can get a pizza coupon and some blood center swag. That's going to be 2 to 5 p.m. Thursday, December 2nd. Registration is required, and we'll have that link in our post.
Be Someone, Beat Battle. Oh, that sounds interesting. HCC's Music Entertainment Student Association is hosting their second annual Fall Producer Showcase Beat Battle. Stream live on Mesa's social media and watch as our student producers compete to see who can flip the sample and who can make the best, wildest, and most exciting bass bumping beat. So that sounds like fun. Friday, December 3rd, at 7 p.m. And you can go to hcc.mesa.central@gmail.com. And let's see. Oh, we got to remind you that Thanksgiving Day is coming up tomorrow, and that HCC is going to be closed tomorrow and Friday. And up to the minute, of course, we're going to take a break too. Why don't you tell everybody about the spring registration?
I'm happy to. It's going on now. So plan right now for your future. Class sizes are still small. We brought them up to our normal caps, but they're going to be at 25. Some of them will be at 32. And this is still very small compared to your local four-year colleges. And the course modalities are going to remain the same, online anytime. So these courses you can sign in, you still have to meet deadlines, but you can do the work pretty much at your own pace. And those any deadlines would be listed in the syllabus calendar. We have online on a schedule where the meeting time is set. And so you will still have that face-to-face virtual meeting with your professor. It will meet online, stated times per the HCC course schedule. We have some hybrid classes where you only meet for 50% of the time face-to-face and 50% of the time is virtual asynchronous work. And so that's still the complete contact hours of the course. That's important.
Yes.
We also have in-person, face-to-face, traditional meeting classes, and hybrid labs, which are the science or laboratory studio courses.
Go to hccs.edu/now and register, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Next week, we're going to have Mental Health Monday. Change Happens is going to be the topic here. It's about drug prevention programs. So we'll have someone here to talk about that. And then we'll spotlight Coleman's occupational therapy program with Renee Shepard, the program director. But everybody, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a good time off. And we will be back Monday. And thank you, Amy, for being on the show with me. We really appreciate it. And we will see everybody next time on Up to the Minute.